On the question of links between India and Pakistan, there is very little links. The reason is the visa. Now, I got my Australian visa only 3 hours before my flight when I had to come. Difficult visa for Australia as well. But it's more difficult to go to India, which is only 25 kilometers. Amritsar is only 25 kilometers from my home, where I live in Lahore. But if I have to go to India, I have to go to Islamabad, which is 5 hours drive. Then you apply for a visa, and then the Indian Interior Ministry will clear your name. It will take 3 months. And to clear your name, you have to approach the Indian Interior Ministry. And you cannot go on a tourist visa. There is no tourist visa between the two. You can only go to attend a ceremony of your relatives, because there are a lot of relatives, or on a business visa to attend a conference or a seminar. But if you say you are going to attend a conference, then they don't give you visa. Very difficult to get that. The other reason is that's the travel, and there is one bus link between 1 billion population. So there is one bus running which is known as Dosti bus, friendship bus. The total population of India, Pakistan is over 1 billion. Only 60 people can sit in that bus. And that runs 4 times a week, not every day. There's only one train. There's only one train which is only goes 4 times a week, which can take like 700 to 800 people. And that is the link. And it covers a distance of 40 kilometers in 24 hours. That is the restrictions on both sides by custom and immigration. You are sick and tired. I have traveled that. You whole day spend on platform because they are clearing the other passengers. And what does it mean? Every single passenger has to be asked all the questions. Their luggage will be opened and all that. And they have not many people to put them. They want to discourage the travel between the two countries. And then business people can go. They travel by air. There is a possibility of by air travel. If I go from Lahore to Delhi, it will cost me 2,000 rupees. If I go, and that is by road, by bus. But if I go by air, it will cost me 40,000 rupees. So only business travel is only 35 minutes flight from Lahore to Delhi. And in 2002, I bought a small place near Indian border in a mishope, which may be a hope sometime, that one day the border will be open. I will go to Amritsar to drink a beer, a cold beer, then I could come back in the evening to my home place. It has never happened. It has not happened yet. It may happen. So our struggle is to open borders, and entry system should be introduced. But so far, despite all the efforts, it has not been succeeded. Every day on Wagah border, which is the Lahore border, on both sides, a drama unfolds. They have to take off the flags. From Pakistani side, the Pakistani flag has to come down, and from the Indian side, the Indian flag has to come down. So thousands of people gather on both sides. They are made like a stadium. I have some pictures here in my telephone. It's people go there, and the Pakistani soldiers who will go to take off a flag, which is an ordinary thing to do, they will go in a way that they are going to conquer India. This is full of hate. So there's a hate ceremony every day between India and Pakistan. And I was the first one to address a press conference, stop this hate ceremony between the two countries. Now this has been taken up by the social movements. And thousands of Indians will clap for their army, thousands of Pakistani will clap for their army. And so in these circumstances, and this is done because both sides, the military gets the maximum budget. And it's a trade, it's an armed trade, and Americans are selling them all the weapons, and their factories are running quite good. I think India's budget is more than Pakistani budget on army. And look at the India. There was a report in India. Over 70% population of India lives under $1 a day. That is the poverty condition in India. In Pakistan, it's also almost the same condition. So people live in absolute poverty, but they have guns, they have atom bombs, and they are proud to be Pakistanis. I said, how would you use atom bomb? I asked in one public rally. I said, well, Kargil war started in 98 between India and Pakistan, when both had bombs. I said, this is an atom bomb where you cannot use it, but you are afraid someone will steal it. And that's the problem both countries are facing at this time, because Americans are always making noise. Is Pakistani nuclear weapons safe? Is there enough protection for those weapons? So it's a crazy ruling class. Look at, other countries on capitalist basis, even on capitalist basis, ruling class behaved on capitalist basis to some decency, and there has been some growth of literacy, of health protection, some growth of infrastructure. But look at Indian subcontinent. It is the most poor of the world are based in that. So whenever I go back from here, my head is full of desperations. What's happening here? Why this ruling class don't think anything respectable solution? Even the money they have, they can do a lot, but they are interested. There are houses in Pakistan you cannot imagine over here, and these are the ruling class houses. I read today here, Tendulkar, the Indian master of cricket, he had built a massive house in Mumbai. Ambani's has the world largest house in Mumbai. So there is no sort of the ruling class has gone absolute crazy in showing off their richness in both countries. That's where we need a revolution. It can't be reformed by ordinary measures. We need a real revolution of the people, and it cannot be done by the ruling class of the both countries, who have miserably failed to solve any of the basic problem of the Indian and Pakistani masses. They have miserably failed in every aspect. It has to be a socialist revolution to bring even the minimum reforms in that country